busy living so bar. It's Elizabeth Chance. How is everybody today? I'm a certified recovery coach, life coach, and a health and wellness coach. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you're back, hey, so happy to see you. How many times do you wake up in the morning going, oh my God, it's another day? Oh my God. Negative thoughts come racing through your mind. Like, how much longer do I have to live in this house? Much longer do I have to wake up next to that person? How much longer? How much longer? My life is this, my life is that. Sorry, I'm having a drink, everybody. I'm having this new drinks. They're called Texas Limestone Filtered Rambler, grapefruit, sparkling water. Delicious. And I have another thing that I'm doing these days, which is I'm eating black licorice. Is anybody into that black licorice thing? Oh my God, so good. Um, Loving the black licorice. Loving it, loving it, loving it. But my topic today is waking up in the morning and going, oh my gosh, negative thoughts, negative feelings, and waking up and recognizing it and going, oh my God, did I wake up again with fear, doubt, self-loathing, all these feelings that are out there? Do you ever have those feelings that you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, I just wake up on, like, I don't wake up whistling Dixie. So good. It's like I can only envision like Mary Poppins or Snow White right now. Good. So good. Now, I've been noticing this about myself, this negative thing, for a while. It didn't just happen overnight. It's been going on for a little bit. And I don't like it at all. At all. I find it to be, I notice it and I'm like, who am I to be so negative? What is wrong with me? I can identify it. Like I can see it about myself. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I acting like this? What is wrong with my life? Really? Absolutely nothing besides what I talked about last week, which I'm not going to go into this week because I already gave up the goods on what's going on with that last week. And I'm not going to talk about it this week because I need to focus on the positive. And I let everybody know where I am and what's going on. And now I can't do anything to fix it. I just told you guys because I want to tell you that I think that the big thing is that I go out there, I tell everybody where I am. And so many people reached out to me and said to me, oh my God, I'm in the same place. And they don't want to tell people, which I understand. I understand people wanting to have their privacy. I can understand that anonymity piece in life. I can understand that people are sometimes like, you know what? I don't want anybody to know this is going on because you're going to judge me and you're not going to like me when I don't like myself and what's going on anyway. And I don't need you to judge me because I'm already judging myself. And then my favorite thing is people say, well, you should maybe go talk to a therapist. I'm like, okay, so what's a therapist going to do? Because I luckily have a best friend that I talk to every day of my life and I have for a long time. And she helps me. And I have spoken to therapists, which are very helpful. And my therapist that I've worked with has been amazing, amazing in my life. It's just hard when you're talking to somebody who hasn't experienced what you've experienced and going and you tell somebody what's going on and then they give you these ideas and you're kind of like, well, you don't know what it's really like. It's kind of like helping somebody that's an alcoholic. Like I can't imagine somebody coming and taking me through, the steps and walking me through this program and have it be somebody that has no idea what it's like to have the craving of alcohol. I can't imagine that. And then somebody giving me advice on how to deal with the child that isn't speaking to me. I can't imagine. It's just, it feels so good, as crazy as this may sound, to have some friends to talk to about it. We don't have to feel so alone. You don't have to feel so like lost and judged and like a leper. You're like, wait a minute, I'm not the only one who's going through this. Wow. Now, is this going to fix it? Nothing's going to fix it, right? Unfortunately, you just have to go and you have to walk through life until the other person decides that they want to say, okay, yes, I will sit down and talk to you. Until that happens, I'm just going to go and I'm going to focus now on the positive. Just like when I said I woke up when waking up in the morning, I've got to change my focus. I have two children, other children that are amazing that I have amazing relationships with. My youngest son has an amazing girlfriend. I love her. She's so great. We have so much fun. We're actually going away with them in a couple months and it's going to be fun and they're adorable and fun. So I can't focus on the negative. I've got to focus on the positive and where I can find joy and where I can find peace. Because if you sit at a closed door for so long staring at it going, I want it to open. I want these people to talk to me. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. And it doesn't happen. What are you doing? You're just staring at this closed door and you're not realizing what's going on on the other side, which there is an open door and there's opportunities and all this other stuff to do. And oh my gosh, I gotta go walk towards that. I can't keep staring at this closed door. It's like a big closed, cold, closed steel door, like you would see in a refrigerator, or like in a restaurant, like that big closed steel door. And you sit there staring at, going, I want to change it, I want to change it, but nobody wants to open it. So I got to keep moving. So that's where we are. And then so this waking up and these negative things and being able to change your thoughts from focusing on the negative to focusing on things that are good and focusing on things that are important and focusing on things that you're grateful for. It's just like changes everything in a heartbeat. It just changes everything. You're like, "Oh my gosh, I am able to look at this in a with a totally different set of glasses." And I will tell you, I'm trying to find it as I talk to you guys. Yesterday morning I got up and again, I noticed I'm a person who gets up first thing in the morning and I go to YouTube. I know a lot of people go to the news or the weather. I go to YouTube and just look at the shorts that are up there. And I mostly look at shorts that are about spirituality, changing your thinking, self-help stuff, because I just find that very inspiring and very helpful in my life. And so I go to that first thing in the morning and yesterday, I also after that, I do I do a Deepak Chopra meditation, and then then after that I do there's some meditation music in the background there, you guys. So I do a meditation and then I get up and then I have my water and to sit for a couple more minutes and start my day. But I ended up finding this. It's a YouTube, and I'm going to actually put it in my description today. So if you want to go and watch it, it's called How to Reprogram Your Mind by Dr. Bruce Lipton. And Dr. Lipton talks about how it went up to 7 years old. Our brain is formed by watching our parents, what they're doing and how they act in their lives. And after 7, we start to make decisions on our own and we, make choices on our own from things that we've witnessed our whole lives. And today it's being able to focus on the good things rather than the bad things. And we have to battle it in a certain way. We have to look at it and we have to go, I'm going to change this thinking. How am I going to change this thinking? So when I open my eyes in the morning, what am I going to do rather than look at, oh my gosh, this is so bad, which it really isn't, but in my little brain, sometimes it says it is. This is so bad. Instead of looking at, oh my gosh, all the good that is in my life. Why do we wake up with the negative rather than the positive? I feel like I have to work harder for the positive. So how am I going to do that? I have to reprogram my brain. I have to wake up in the morning and I have to look at things and I have to view them with a new set of glasses. Like my new glasses, if you're watching this on YouTube, they're hot pink readers. From Amazon, I think they were $7. But I like today, I woke up and I looked outside and I saw palm trees, I saw grass, I saw my dogs. Um, and I just thought, and I saw the sky and I saw clouds. And instead of going first thing out of the gate being negative, and oh my God, what do I have to do today? Oh my God, I have to do all this stuff today. I got to be able to say, oh my gosh, look at how beautiful those palm trees are. I am so lucky that I get to look out the window. And maybe you look out your window and you see an oak tree. Maybe you look out your window and you see mountains. Maybe you look out your window and you see the ocean. Maybe you look out your window and you see snow. Maybe you look out your window and you see rain. But it's good, right? It's good. It's like recognizing, okay, well, the rain's here. It's gonna water the grass. It's gonna water the plants, the trees. We're almost in the spring. They need this water so that everything can come up and bloom again in a couple months. So that's so great that it's raining or snowing, and the snow's going to eventually melt and become water that's going to flow somewhere else. And it's just like looking at it in such a positive way. Like we can change anything, but we have to first recognize that we're doing this. Like we're going to this. I'm staring at this big steel door. I can't do anything about it. Okay, I acknowledge I'm sitting here staring at this big steel door. I can't look at the steel door anymore because I can't move it. I don't have superpowers. I'm not Wonder Woman, even though I wish I was. I want those gold cuffs so bad. But anyway, not to digress. That's been one of my dreams my whole life. But looking at that steel door and going, all right, I've got to pivot. I have to pivot. I am awake. I am alive. I have to do something. That's different. I have to change my thinking. And it's going to take time. And it's getting into a new practice that you decide that you're going to change the negative to a positive, right? It's like when you look at electricity, it's negative and positives. So you look at the negative and you go, you know what? I'm going to change this to a positive. I'm going to say, I am so lucky that I have a partner. I am so lucky I have a spouse. I am so lucky I have a husband. I am so lucky I have a wife. I am so lucky that somebody loves me. Wow. That feels good, right? That feels good. Because nobody has anything that's perfect. You might look at something for a blink of a second on social media, which, takes a less than a second. It's like, I think it's a millisecond is how long it takes to take a photograph. That millisecond, and you compare the way you're feeling on the inside to that picture that you see on the outside, and you think, oh my gosh, their life's so perfect and my life isn't. No, stop, stop, stop. No judgment. We can't say that somebody's like, we don't know. We got to stop doing that. When did it become so important to watch other people's lives and judge them and say, this is good and this is bad? We don't know what it's like to walk in somebody else's shoes. You have no idea. Mm-mm, mm-mm. You can have a similar story and still not know how that person's feeling because everybody's born in a different place with a different family. And even the people that are born in the same family as you have a different story of how things occurred than you do. And does that make them right and you wrong? No, it does not. You had your eyes and your brain, and you saw things and heard things, and you then digressed that this is what it meant. You came to the conclusions of how that felt for you. And let's say your sibling says, oh, no, that's not what happened. Does that mean you're wrong because they didn't feel the same feelings? No, it does not. And you don't have to bang your head against that big steel wall going, why don't they believe me? Why don't they see it the way they do? Because they don't. And that is okay. And nobody has to be right and not everybody has to be wrong. And it's getting to that place of neutrality, that place where all the color lives in the world, like all those red, yellow, green, blue, pinks, all of those colors that I love and that I want to live in. I want to live in the colors rather than living in the black and white. I don't even wear black anymore. I mean, I want to live in those places rather than going, oh my gosh, I need everybody to believe what I believe. I need everybody to see things the way I see things. It's not going to happen. Not everybody is going to be the way I am. We're individuals with different DNA, different homes, different lives. So we need to come to that common place of neutrality and go, okay, I can hear you. And if we don't have mutual respect, then it goes to the wayside. Then you're like done. You're like, if you're not going to respect me and you're going to call me names or you're going to be rude or disrespectful because you don't like what I have to say, then it's sometimes time to break the relationship up, which I've had to do in many occasions in my life. And going, you know what? You go do you and I'll go do me. And I've had to be the scapegoat my entire life. It's just who I am. That's just where I fit in my family of origin and where I've been in my life. My whole entire life is like, I'm the scapegoat. Here's Lily having fun by herself. Sorry if you hear the dog. Um, I've been the scapegoat. What am I going to do? Am I going to change it? No, it is what it is. It's not going to do anything to me. It's going to be what it is. I can't change it. I just embrace who I am and be okay with who I am, because at least I have one person I know that cares. I know there's a lot more of you that do. Um, Not to be coy, but we need to know that we need to come together with people that give us that common respect. So it pulls us up instead of pulls us down. I also wanted to talk about the negativity. It's really interesting. I talked about this. I don't know how many of you people get my newsletter. I put out a newsletter every week now, every Friday. It will go right into your inbox. If you go to elizabethchance.com and you fill out the little, it just gives you a prompt. Do you want to be updated on any email change, any changes on my website, I guess, or I want to be alerted with any of my emails, and those emails will go right into your inbox. And it was really interesting for me last week. I have not, so I got sober originally, 17 and a half years ago, going to 12-step meetings where I would have to get out of my house, go down to the local church, open the door, go sit in a room for an hour, and then leave, and then do the social stuff afterwards. But I did that for till the pandemic. So I guess I had, what was the pandemic, 4 years ago? So that's 13 years sobriety, give or take. So up until the pandemic happens, I started a Zoom meeting because it was an emergency, and how else were you going to meet with people but on Zoom, because you couldn't go out anywhere? And I've been going to Zoom since the pandemic, to that same place. And I don't know if you guys get like this, but you've been going to the same thing day after day after day. And you just get like, I need a change. I need a change. I need a change. So for a month, I didn't even do any meetings. I just do my podcast, and I talk to other addicts, and I talk to people that I know that help me along the path. So I have my people that help me. So I've been doing that. So I said, I'm going to go to an in-person 12-step meeting. And I did. And wow, wow. Wow. In very short period of time, life has changed so much. Life has changed so much since the pandemic. I mean, I see things that are happening, in the grocery stores. We'll say that the grocery store prices are obviously going up. Gas prices have obviously gone up. Politics has gotten meaner. People have gotten meaner. Facebook is like and not always the safest zone to go to. Um, all this stuff has like gotten so much, the noise has gotten so much louder. I don't know. I don't remember it being this loud pre-pandemic. And so I go, and it's a women's meeting. So I was the oldest person there by far. And I was just overwhelmed by what is going on with fentanyl and the drug abuse in our country today. I didn't know. I graduated from high school in 1987. So I don't know anybody in my high school that died of a drug overdose. And I've asked a bunch of my friends, like, do you guys know of anybody when we were growing up that died of a drug overdose? And I, I think there was maybe somebody like committed suicide or something, unfortunately, and they had taken a number of pills to do that to themselves. But I don't think anybody went out to use recreational drugs and then died due to the drug that they went to go do recreationally. Well, let me tell you, that is not the case anymore, my friends. It is literally an absolute, we are living in one of the scariest times ever. I mean, these kids today are having to see, they're in their 20s, right? And maybe early 30s, and they all have lost somebody to drug overdose. Every one of them's lost like a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a friend, a cousin. They all know somebody that's died due to fentanyl, due to a drug overdose. Now, these are young people, right? Now, I'm 55. I find death to be hard to deal with, right? I think it's sad. I mean, the older I get, I'm getting a little bit better with it, I can say, with age. It's still sad. It's still For me personally, thank God I believe in God and I believe in heaven. So I think we go to heaven. That's where I want to believe in my brain, and that works for me. I don't need the scientific proof that it happens or it doesn't happen. That's just for me. I like to live in an idealistic world. Um, so I'm like, well, when I die and when I've lost people in my life, I know that they've gone to heaven and they're living in heaven. And for me, that gives me peace. But these kids today, for one, people don't go to church like they did. So these 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds weren't really raised going to church ever. I mean, I think I might have been the last generation of people that were probably made to go to church. Like, I don't know how many kids today are made to go to church. I don't think that's like a huge number of people because sports and everything else, life has just gotten so crazy and both parents having to work and the only day you're off is that day and you just want to hang out some days. And so these kids are now, they didn't go to church a lot. So I don't know how much spirituality they have. I don't know how much religion they have inside of them. I don't know how much faith they have inside of them, but they are now burying their friends. They're watching their friends die. How cold. How sad. It's a true epidemic. It's like we talk about the people that are dying, but then what about the people that are left here and have to deal with these people, their friends that never had an opportunity to get married, have kids, go to college, the list could go ad nauseum. And, plane load of people goes down every day due to this drug overdose. And I'm sitting here looking at these kids, I'm like, oh my God, how do you get better? How do you feel a sense of peace? How do you have a relationship with God that you trust that you've never had in your whole entire life in the spirituality? How do you get there? And God, how much harder it must be to climb that mountain of like a first step, a second step, a third step. God, a third step, trusting. When you trust, like this thing has happened that you can't even, don't even know what to do about death. How do you process death as a child? I mean, our brains aren't even developed till we're 25. That's the average. Okay. For boys and girls, we're just going to meld it together and say 25. And so these kids are dealing with death and they're in their 20s. Their brains aren't even fully developed and they're watching their friends, their dear friends, the people that they love are dying. They might decide to go out and, I don't know, smoke pot. I mean, I think it's in weed now. And if you were to go do blow, like that was something, I'm going to be honest. I mean, that's like something we tried when I was in high school. We did. There was no question. Is it real? Is it not real? I mean, maybe we should have had that. We should have been smarter to think that way, but we didn't. But now today, you do that and you're going to die. Like you have a very good chance of dying. And how many people walk around with a kit that says this is real or it's fentanyl? I don't know. I don't think they hand them out like COVID tests. That's for sure. I don't think any kid can go and pick or get Narcan anywhere. I think Narcan costs $50. Um, something's just, it's just so sad. And I think we need to like change up our conversations and start talking about this. I mean, I was talking to somebody on last Friday night. I went to this thing after I played golf and I just went in and had a drink with my friend at this restaurant thing and I was talking to this woman and she's like, "Oh yeah, my friend's son, he went and he did cocaine before he went to a party and he died." I had another friend that called me and said that she had a friend that went and used and died. Another one. Another person called. I mean, I think last week alone, I heard of 4 people dying that were just doing recreational drugs. They were not out like in living in a city shooting up something. This was like recreational things that you would normally like. That's what people would do. I mean, I hate to say people do them. I mean, they're out there. People have been doing them since the beginning of time. Whether it's good or bad, it is what happens. People do drugs, okay? People like to get high. People don't want to feel pain, so they use drugs. Okay, but now you use drugs and you're going to die. You use recreational drugs, you score them on the street. I mean, forever we didn't know what it was. I mean, like maybe it was oregano, right? That was kind of a joke. Was like, is it oregano or is it real weed? Mm. Today, it's not, is the question, is it oregano? The question is it fentanyl? It's crazy. But if anything, I'm here to tell you, we got to start talking about it. We got to start. I mean, we don't need to talk about it in a way that's like threatening and a way that is like bad, 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 because nobody listens to that, right? I think it's more of a communication way of saying, you know what? I know you're going to try this. I know that this is happening. I know that this is going around you. Don't think that you're going to be a special one that's going to get away from this stuff. The fentanyl's in everything. What are your how are you going to make sure what you're if you decide to take this, that it isn't going to kill you? How are you going to ensure that? Are you going to get something maybe to test it prior to using it? I don't know if even that's out there. Is that out there? If you're out there and you're listening, let me know. I would love to know if that is the case, if you can find out. And today, like I mentioned something right then about it's a painkiller. Drugs, alcohol, they're painkillers, right? They take away the pain. They take away the pain of like looking at that door, that steel door that you can't change, and it frustrates you and it makes you upset and it makes you sad. And I can go on with it and ad nauseum with how many adjectives I could tell you that that feeling is. And it's pain, right? It's pain that you can't have a relationship with this person and you can't talk to that person. And you stare at the willing it and willing it. And it's so painful and so painful. But as I also mentioned, we have to find joy and we have to find gratitude. If I find the gratitude, I can have a grateful life. I can aspire for things. I can have dreams. I can manifest. And my manifestation might not come to fruition for 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, 16 years, but I can still, while I am alive, up and breathing and not underground, I can have hope. I can have joy. I can have gratitude. It's like we all have to change because we all have pain. No one's coming through this world unscathed. It's through the pain is where we find joy. We know what's good. If we all just stayed happy all the time and in this, we'd be like, I don't know, robots. Because we all have joys and we all have sadnesses. And it's the roller coaster of how we get through it. And instead of going, I got to go and I got to take something to take away this pain. I understand if you are having major pain, you've just broken your leg, you've gotten hit by a car, something like that. Like, yes, that is a lot of pain. But emotional pain is something that you can retrain your brain. Go watch Bruce Lipton. He's just so brilliant when he gets into this. Not only is he brilliant about it, but so is Deepak Chopra. The breath changes a lot. Like being able to breathe where the pain is and like literally sending your breath to that part of your body. When I do meditation, if I'm doing something and I'm like, oh my God, that leg's really hurting, or something really hurts in my body and my arm might hurt or my shoulder might hurt. I mean, I don't know if you are like me and you carry a lot of pain in your shoulders and your neck. That's where you carry all your stress. It's like I can breathe into those areas. The blood goes there and then it comes down. I breathe in and out, and you can feel the pain kind of loosening itself. It's like getting a massage. You can feel it getting better. Massage it. Breathe. Breathe. We need to learn to breathe so much. And we need to realize that the material items, as great as they are, they don't really matter at the end of the day. They don't. What matters is the relationships you have in your life. And for me, I can't keep staring at that wall, at that steel door, and going, what did I do wrong? How can I make it better? Oh my God. Oh my God. Poor me, poor me, poor me. I feel sorry for myself. I just have to look at it like, this is the way it is. Is it going to be like this forever? I have no idea. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I'm not God, and I got to let go to that. And I have to have forgiveness and walk forward. And I want you to walk forward. I want you to wake up in the morning and feel happy, joyous, and free. You have the ability to listen today. If you have the ability to listen, you have the ability to change. It's getting into action, not into thinking. Our thinking is what keeps us sick. It's getting into the place where you're going to go, I am going to change this negative thinking to gratitude. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to write it down. I might just say it out loud to myself. And you can feel if you put a smile on your face, it changes everything. I'm not kidding. If instead you just sitting there and you see something, instead of going in a judgmental way and you go, and you get that negative, like grimace face on your, instead take the smile, put it up. Don't have the grimace. Go, okay, I'm gonna smile at this. I'm gonna smile at that dog. I'm gonna smile at that baby. I'm gonna smile at that person walking down the street. And instead of judging them, I might be like, that's a crazy outfit. You put that together, you're pretty creative. Give everybody a thumbs up instead of a thumbs down. Let's be happy, joyous, and free instead of looking for outs for the pain. The pain is something we will get through, especially if you reach out and you talk to somebody. Don't do this by yourself. Write to me. I promise you, I will write you back. I always write everybody back. I promise you. I promise you, I will write you back. And just know this, you just have to do this each and every day, one day at a time. I always have done sobriety one day at a time. Every day. I wake up and I say, I don't know what's going to happen today, but no matter what, I'm not drinking. And that is what has given me peace of mind for this whole time. It's the ability to go, if I didn't do anything else right today, I didn't drink. That's the one good thing I did. So if you're listening, you like what I have to share, please give me a rating on iTunes or on Spotify or even on YouTube. I've got a YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel. And you can always go to elizabethchance.com as well. Sign up for my newsletter. It will give you updates. I'm going to put out a newsletter on Friday. I do it every Friday. I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet this week because I just pray and then I just write. I have major things coming up in March, which I can't wait to share with you guys about, but I'm not getting into that today. I just want to tell you this. You are not alone. You've got this. Breathe a little. Check out Bruce Lipton, Dr. Bruce Lipton. It's the link, the YouTube link will be in my description. And know that you are not alone. You are not crazy. You are not alone. You're just managing this thing we call life. It's not easy. And whoever told you it was lied. All right. That's all I have to share today. Everybody who's out there, I'm sending big hugs, big kisses. I got you. I've got a guest coming up on Monday, and then I'll be back next Wednesday. And I got the newsletter on Friday. So there's a lot of busy if you want it. And until next time, keep. Oh, by the way, I also have Thursdays live on Facebook. You got to go check that out too. But until next time, keep getting busy, living. Bye, everybody. Take care.